What is up, my friends? It is Monday, it is the Anfield Agenda News Roundup, and I hope that you are all in good spirits. I mean, let's be honest, why wouldn't you be? Liverpool are back atop of the Premier League table, but I'm going to be asking, who is the favourites to go on and lift the title? Opta have ran the numbers and their supercomputer has given us a percentage chance, which I'll go through in a couple of moments. We're also going to be asking, who's calling Xabi Alonso a coward? It isn't me, hint. And then we're going to talk about Ruben, Amorim and a couple of other bits and pieces. So, we want to know your thoughts. After you finish watching the video, please let us know in the comment section and drop a like if you enjoy it. So let's start off with the odds. Who's going to go and lift the Premier League crown? Well, I said yesterday on the stream, my own guess was about 40% chance for Liverpool, 30% for City and 30% for Arsenal. But how does that tally with the statisticians at Opta who've ran these numbers based on a whole lot of factors that an idiot like me quite simply wouldn't comprehend? So, these are the numbers. They reckon that Liverpool are favourites to go and win Jurgen Klopp's second Premier League title. They've given us a 47.7% chance, so just a little under 50%. Who's second on the list? Probably unsurprisingly, they reckon Manchester City have the next best chance with 33.5% chance. So what does that leave Arsenal then? You know, the ones who many people are saying are probably going to do it. You know, Arsenal fans looked at that result yesterday at the Etihad, called it a defensive masterclass. I called it cowardice. They went there not to lose. You're not going to win a league title by not losing. You're going to go to the Etihad to try and win. And I don't feel they've done that. So what do the statisticians at Opta reckon? Well, they've given Arsenal just an 18.8%, 18.8% chance to go and win the Premier League. So less than half of Liverpool's chances, which is kind of telling, right? Because if you look at the fixtures with the naked eye, you would say, yeah, Arsenal probably do have the slightly hardest run-in of the three teams, but you know, that's a fairly low score. I would have personally given Arsenal higher, as I mentioned, about 30% in my own estimation, but I'll take it, and I'll tell you why I'll take it. Because I want to. Because it says what I want to believe, which is that Liverpool are the favourites. So for me, I think they're probably spot on, but I'd love to know your thoughts on it. Do you think that Opta have those numbers right, or do you think that maybe Manchester City are still favourites? They're not. They shouldn't be, but you are entitled to your opinion, my friends. So people have been asking me a lot about Ruben Amorim. What style of play does he have? And I hope that a lot of people had a chance to watch the Everything You Need to Know about Ruben Amorim video that is up on the channel. But one thing I was reading up on yesterday caught my attention a little bit. A former coach or player, I can't remember which one it was, that worked with Ruben Amorim has been speaking about his style, and this is what he had to say. He's a big believer in a back three system. It's something he's utilised throughout his short career, both at Braga and now at Sporting. He likes his defenders to carry the ball up the pitch into central areas before finding width in the final third through the wing backs and wide forwards. So what you'll see is a system where sometimes you can have a box midfield and other times those two advanced midfielders and number 10s will go and join the lone attacker usually in a system with the wing backs coming in as well. Now we're going to break down Ruben Amorim's style in more detail over the next few weeks and months because it is looking very, very likely he will be the next Liverpool manager. Again, he doesn't really want to talk about it publicly. He was asked about it over the weekend and again he kind of batted away questions, but everything that we've read, everything that I've been seeing and hearing suggests that Ruben Amorim is closing in on becoming the Liverpool manager. We will have to pay, of course, that compensation to Sporting Lisbon. It's somewhere between 10 million and 17 million, depending on various reports. And I think he's the ideal candidate after Xabi Alonso. But if you look at their careers and you look at their trajectory, they're not a million miles apart. Like, don't feel like we are getting second best here. We are still getting a very, very astute young coach who I think will all like the way he conducts himself, shall we say. Style of football might take a bit of getting used to because we're used to a 4-3-3 system under Klopp. It's pretty much been a staple of Klopp's time at Liverpool. So, a lot of changes to come, a lot of guessing about personnel, who may come in, who may go. But one person who has been linked to Liverpool is, rather surprisingly, a youngster from Brazil. So, latest from Lewis Steele said, "New, Liverpool are among a growing list of Premier League and European clubs maintaining a watching brief on Palmeiras wonderkid Luis Guilherme, according to sources in the scouting community. It's believed the Reds have closely monitored his progress." You probably recognise this name because it's not the first time we've mentioned the young man Luis Guilherme on the streams and on the channel, but I've got to say, I have no idea. I know nothing on this. I have no idea if the interest is genuine. But again, Lewis Steele and many other journalists seem to believe that we are one of a number of clubs keeping an eye on him. Now, a little bit on referees, and it's not about me moaning for once. It's Vincent Kompany. He got sent off over the weekend, but he's right to be annoyed because the decision was ridiculous. Even Dermot Gallagher on Sky has been saying that that was an incorrect decision and that Burnley were hard done by. But it seems to happen over and over again. Look at David Coote, referee in our game. How many yellow cards did he give to us? It felt like every time one of our players committed a foul, he couldn't get the card out quick enough. But I think we were only awarded something like 6 fouls in the game to over 15, if I remember correctly, for Brighton. So I think we're all just fed up with referees at this point. But this is what Vincent Kompany had to say. I've been saying what I think. I'm not shying away from it. And I've said it to the referees themselves. The officials' refereeing hasn't been good enough this season. And I think you'll all agree with Vincent Kompany. It doesn't matter if it's just our games. It's right across the board. Referees this season just aren't doing their job up to the levels required and are getting away with it, in my opinion. And of course, in Vincent Kompany's opinion, in Gary O'Neill's opinion, and many others. So let us know your thoughts on refereeing as well in the comment section. But lastly, I did warn at the start of the video, somebody had been calling Xabi Alonso a coward. Who was that? Well, it's one of the few times on this channel, my friends, you're going to hear me mention the name Richard Keys. Himself and his colleague over in beIN Sports were talking about the situation, and I feel dirty saying this, but I kind of agree. My thoughts were that Xabi Alonso's stock is never going to be higher than it is this season. And he may live to regret turning down the Liverpool job, turning down the Bayern job, and potentially in the future, the Madrid job. If he doesn't deliver next year, if Leverkusen don't go on to have a very good league campaign and make a push in the Champions League, I don't know if his stock will be as high. So Richard Keys said that he thinks he took the cowardly option, that he should have taken the job at Liverpool or the job at Bayern Munich. And whilst I disagree with a lot of stuff Richard Keys said, I do feel it was, and I guess I would say this as a Liverpool fan, the wrong decision from Alonso. There's a lot to be respected about what Xabi did. Staying at Leverkusen, committing to the project for another year. Leverkusen fans will feel like that's shown loyalty, and I understand and appreciate that. But how often is the Liverpool job going to come up in a man's career, in a coach's career? It isn't a job like Bayern Munich or Real Madrid or a few other clubs around Europe that chop and change every few years. Our managers tend to be in for 4, 5, 6, and in Jurgen's case, 9-year stints. So I don't know, will Alonso ever get the chance to become Liverpool manager again? I guess time will tell, but I'm also going to be honest and say I don't really think he deserves the chance after turning us down. Maybe you disagree, maybe you think that's harsh, but it's genuinely how I feel. He turned down the opportunity to come manage Liverpool Football Club at a very good time in our history, with a very good squad, probably going to have a decent transfer budget as well, and I'll never, ever really get over that. I just don't feel it was the right decision. I respect what he's doing at Leverkusen, but this feels like he's missed an opportunity. So unfortunately, I kind of agree with Richard Keys, but I promise you, that's where me agreeing with Keys will come to a stop. So, I've gone through everything today, my friends, but I want to know your thoughts. We will be back tomorrow live streaming at 4 o'clock and 8:30. The preview for the Sheffield United game is going to come out tomorrow at 6 o'clock as well, so do keep an eye out for that one. Would love to know your thoughts ahead of that game. But for me, if we can get through this week, 3 points against Sheffield United, go to Old Trafford and get 3 points, I think we are firmly in that box seat to win the Premier League. Over to you, my friends. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.